Milton. I came from El Salvador in 2003 when I was 18 years old. At that time I was working, and then I got my GED and started attending college as a part-time student. Everything was going fine. Things were being, I would say, good. I was happy with how God was blessing me at that time. In 2008, a preacher told me that, better things were prepared for me in the future, but at the same time he told me that I was going to go through a lot of suffering, I would say. I cannot really recall the exact words that he told me at that time, but I do remember him telling me that I was supposed to go through a lot of struggle in a certain point. So that quite concerned me a little bit at that time, and then after that I just continued praising God and trying to do my best in everything I did. In 2010, the unexpected happened. On a regular day, I was working on night shift at that time, and then on a regular day, I woke up that afternoon to go to work. It was my last day of the week, so I was excited about it. Everything seemed to be a regular day, a normal day for me. Got to work. I was working. After 5 hours of being at my job, for some reason I stepped onto oil or something like that, and then I was called to work on a machine. Everything was locked around that machine where I was working, but there was another machine on the side that was still running, so we were not required to lock that machine at the time. We were required to work to lock the machine that was around us where we were working on. So as I was trying to work on that machine, my left leg slid to the left side, and the machine on the side caught my leg and started pulling me in. As soon as I felt that machine caught my leg, I tried to reach and grab something, and I started holding on and screaming for people to come and turn off the machine. It was very painful. I could feel, as soon as the machine grabbed my toes, I could feel how the machine was breaking the bones on my leg, so it was very painful. Someone came and shut off the machine right away, but it was, I would not say it was too late, but at that point my leg was all the way, I would say half through into the machine, right below the knee, so they had to call the paramedics, and I spent about 45 minutes with my leg stuck in that machine. After that, they took me to Washington Regional. I spent about a week, went through 7 surgeries, and then the doctors decided that it was time to amputate the leg. That was very shocking for me. That was unexpected. At that time, I could not understand why things were happening to me. I've always tried to do things right in my life, and I've always tried to be faithful to God and do the right thing, and then all those questions come up to your head, and you start thinking, why am I going through all this? Why, so many bad people around the world, and it seems like nothing happens to them. And there were so many questions in my mind, going through my mind at that time, and then so I decided to go ahead and sign the papers for my leg to be amputated. After I woke up from that surgery, I didn't have my leg. My pain was decreased. So I felt a little better, but I was still in shock. And then I remember Pastor Eddie and other members of the church coming and pray for me, and I was still asking questions and wondering why those things were happening to me. It was still painful every minute. It seems like it was a never-ending minute of pain every hour, every day, every night. I could not sleep for more than 15 minutes at a time. So it was a frustration. And then the pain medication was not working, and I was asking God, why me? Why are these things happening to me? And then something clicked inside of me, like if God put something in my head, and He made me realize that everything that I was going through was because it was part of His plan. Even at that time, I could not understand what His plans were, because the suffering and the struggles were bad. I mean, all that pain is not an easy thing to go through. And even though you feel like God is talking or speaking to your head, it's hard to listen to His voice. It's hard to think that really is this what God has in His plans for me. If I'm His son, if I'm trying to do the right thing, why is He allowing me to go through all these things? At that time, I could not understand. I was able to accept the reality, and I was able to believe in God and trust Him, because I realized that I had no choice. You get to the point that you need to realize that God is in control of everything. And even though you're suffering, even though the pain sometimes seems like it's unbearable, it's important to believe that God is in control of everything. So I just took it 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. It seemed like it will never end, but eventually things started getting a lot better for me. I wanted to know what God's plans were for me right away, which is something that did not happen. So I just had to live with that in the back of my mind. I just had to take things the way they were coming. And after I got out of the hospital, I spent a month in the hospital, 2 months in rehabilitation. After I got out of the hospital, went back to work, went back to college, and things started like falling into place. My initial plans were to just get a 2-year college degree. After I got out, after my accident and went back to college, I was able to obtain a scholarship to go to the University of Arkansas. And instead of getting my 2-year college degree, I was able to get a 4-year college degree with that scholarship. I got married in 2011. God has been blessing me since then in so many ways. I have been able to touch so many people with my story, and the same way that I'm trying to do with you guys. It has not been until maybe about 3 months ago when I was able to sit down, reflect on all the things that I've been able to do since my accident, that if I would have never had that accident, those things would have never happened. So I think 3 months ago I was able to realize that God did have a plan for me, even though at the time in 2010 I was not able to understand why I was going through all that suffering. So my message to you guys is that it doesn't matter. Life is not pretty all the time, and it doesn't matter what you guys are going through. Just keep going. Just trust and believe in God that He has a plan and everything. He's in control of everything. And I think that sometimes people are in worse situations than you are, and it doesn't matter how bad it seems to be. God will always help you to do better, and He will always have a plan. He will bless you if you trust Him and believe in Him.